Greetings and salutations to all my Negro and non-Negro friends. Black people do the Humpty Hump. White people do the Humpty Hump. Samoans do the Humpty Hump. Come on, do the Humpty Hump. I need somebody to study the genius that was Shock G. I'm sure somebody has already done the doc on Shock G. I'd love to see it. Please drop the recommendations in the chat. Welcome, everybody. It's the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is the place for now, a safe space to set oppression ablaze. I appreciate you guys patiently joining me. We got some of our regulars, our Fire Fam All Stars, checking in, repping in tonight. Thank you so much. Shout out to Cynical. Shout out to Lovely Lady. Shout out to Dre Woofa Woof Out. Shout out to Holly Horn. Shout out to Renee J. That what they called her when she used to hoop, Renee J. Yeah, I bet they did. I bet they did. Who else is in here? Peace to the wonderful mods. Love to see you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on a good Friday night. I'm not sure. Is this the first or last night in Scorpio or in first night in Sagittarius? I think we're in a new moon in Scorpio. I don't know. I don't really know what that means, but I don't know. Set your intentions. Guard your grill. Protect your neck. Y'all, so I wanted to check in tonight because, there's a lot of things going on, obviously. NASA released some bullshit for the 3-eye Atlas pictures. I said, what the fuck is this? I said, billions of dollars. This is what we get from the Hubble. This is what we get from the James Webb telescope. This fuzzy, blurry shit. This shit is right in our backyard. We getting, you know what? Fuck that. That's not even what I want to talk about. The thing is, you guys, we are in a stage where in this mass state-sponsored surveillance state where we're seeing, all of our social media, all of our engagements, all of our driving activity, all of our everything just being documented, put into a database, put into a category for future unknown use. Okay, who knows what the end result of all of this data collection is going to be. But I find it a bit unfair that the president of the United States, in spite his seemingly pleasant encounter with New York Mayor-elect Zoran Maldani today in the White House, I said Trump really might have had a stroke. You guys said, wait a second. In the same weekend, he says, oh, yeah, House Republicans, go ahead and vote for the release of the Epstein files. And he welcomed Zoran with daps and hugs. What the fuck? This nigga really might have had a stroke. But what really grabbed attention today, or rather this week, is, I don't know what day it is under Trump 2.0, was the post on Truth Social where Trump openly talked about hanging these Democrats, congressional Democrats, who I already imagined to be some sort of version of like plant politicians. Maybe most politicians are plants, but when they come out of the intelligence community and out of the military, I'm like, a la a Wes Moore. Wes Moore gives me tremendous plant vibes. But yeah, so all these folks strike me as plants of the deep state, as it were. And these folks came out and told active military members via a video, I'm not going to play, you guys already probably seen it, that listen, you don't need to obey illegal orders. And Trump lost his shit and saying on True Social, basically, hang Mike Pence. Like Trump said, this is seditious talk. This is worthy of hanging. Now, I listened to a clip. Where was he? He was on one of those Fox News hosts, one of the who was I was going to say the douchey one, but I know that doesn't exactly narrow it down. But one of the douchey ones, it's not Gutfield. Which one? It was one of them other douchebags. I can't remember his name. But anyway, Trump had, I guess this person has a radio show, and I saw the clip where Trump had called in and was trying to walk it back a little bit. No, I didn't mean that they should be hung, but I'm just saying back in the day they would have been hung. And we want to make America great again. So, maybe we should hang them. Who can really say? So, KKK Caroline was asked about the president's comments, and I wanted to say, as lying CUNTs go, this lady is 5 stars. Okay. Like, if there was a rating that could be attributed to KKK Caroline and her ability to be a lying ass, what, this lady excels at this. So hold on. So let's go ahead and run that, because here's my thing. Let me or you call for the hanging, in jest or otherwise, for an elected official, especially for Trump. Them alphabet boys are going to pay you a visit, okay? And even though Craig Robinson is no longer with us, if you are a viewer of this program, you know the story of Craig Robinson, the elder white man from Utah who said openly on social media during the Biden administration, openly, that if Joe Biden set his bitch ass down in Utah, it was going to be a fucking problem. And the feds came to Craig Robinson's house, and I guess Craig Robinson pulled a Thule on, and then they shot Craig Robinson. So none of us is Craig Robinson. I don't want none of us to be Craig Robinson. So please don't say such things that would elicit a visit from them alphabet boys. But I just think it is proof positive that all of this talk about we got to chill out with the political violence speech, the political violence. There's only the violent rhetoric primarily coming from the conservative side, coming from the right. I don't give a fuck about Republican or Democrat, but the evangelical Christian wing of our political, whatever the fuck we have, this duopoly, this one party system, basically, the party for the capitalists. I want us to play the clip. Let me chill out. Play KKK. Oh, shout out to Latif, everybody. Latif is pushing buttons for us on this Good Friday. So thanks to Latif. So let's go ahead and cue up the first clip, please.
Accused 6 Democratic lawmakers of seditious behavior punishable by death. Just to be clear, does the president want to execute members of Congress?
No. Let's be clear about what the president is responding to. You have sitting members of the United States Congress who conspired together to orchestrate a video message to members of the United States military, encouraging them to defy the president's lawful orders.
Our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders.
No one has to carry out orders that violate the law or our Constitution.
We have 1.3 active duty service members in this country, and if they hear this radical message from sitting members of Congress, that could inspire chaos, and it could incite violence, and it certainly could disrupt the chain of command to signal to people serving under this commander-in-chief, Donald Trump, that you can defy him and you can betray your oath of office. That is a very, very dangerous message, and it perhaps is punishable by law.
The president and the vice president, for that matter, have accused the other side of encouraging political violence. Isn't that exactly what the president is doing when he says that members of Congress should be killed?
Why aren't you talking about what these members of Congress are doing to encourage and incite violence? They are literally saying to 1.3 million active duty service members to defy the chain of command, not to follow lawful orders.
Actually,
every single
can refuse an illegal order, which
but
is
they're suggesting, Nancy, that the president has given illegal orders, which he has not. Every single order that is given to this United States military by this commander-in-chief and through this chain of command, through the Secretary of War, is lawful. To suggest and encourage that active duty service members defy the chain of command is a very dangerous thing for sitting members of Congress to do. And they should be held accountable, and that's what the president wants to see. You will hear more about that later.
Caroline,
Thank you.
You misquoted Democrats in that video. That's actually not what they said.
Caroline thought she dropped the mic right there. She said, I'm done with this shit. Think my shit. I'm going out of here. Can I say real quick before we get into, again, the elite level deflection from KKK Caroline? You know, I kind of have to laugh at this fake moral high ground taken by the Democrat Party at large, but of course by these specific 7 Democrats who created this video. I don't remember any members of the Democratic Party during the wars, plural, in Iraq, the invasion of Afghanistan, the not random, but ongoing deposing of democratically elected leaders throughout countries in the global south. I don't remember Democrats ever making a video telling the military, hey, if you think you're doing something illegal, you don't have to follow it. I mean, how many Iraqis were slaughtered? How many Afghans? How many Palestinians? Like, the list goes on. So I kind of have to not snicker because it's not funny. It's gross and disgusting. It's like, oh, so y'all think that y'all got room to preach? Former military veterans and intelligence officers turned Congress people. I'm sorry. What was the business of your work in your previous lines of employment? Fuckery, likely. Oh, okay, right. Combat veterans, you say? Oh, likely war criminals yourself. And not to say, you guys know, we don't condone fuck all that the Trump administration does, particularly what they are doing in the Caribbean right now. Instilling fear and terror into the Venezuelan people and probably and many others, Colombians, Trini folks. He got the whole region a little shook up right now, a lot shook up, to be quite honest, because he's unpredictable. And without question, yes, these U.S. military officers who are bombing fishing boats out of the water are indeed committing war crimes. They are violating human rights. They are violating a myriad of things, I'm sure, treaties and all, but they're not the first. It's indefensible, inexcusable, but this is standard operating procedure for how this country operates. You know what I mean? This is an imperialist nation. This is who we are as a country. This is our ethos. No person is too small for the might of the U.S. military for it to be unleashed upon them. And we get into all this sort of like semantics kind of talk here, because the Trump administration arbitrarily says that Venezuela is running drugs. According to who? Based on what? Declared by whom? Who else has looked over this intelligence? Who else can verify this? Not interesting, but remarkable. Who is it? The UK and Colombia both said that they are no longer sharing intelligence with the US military because, again, they're doing illegal, terrible, deplorable, reprehensible things to likely innocent people. And I'm sorry. And listen, if you are in the military and you are agreeing to do this shit, I wish I could say that something would happen to you. I wish I could say that you doing something illegal, killing innocent civilians in boats, that there could be some consequence. But Iraq, Afghanistan, Guantanamo, Abu Ghraib, like all of these, like there's too many instances in recent history that show that the U.S. military can basically do what they want. Let's not sexual assaults of people in South Korea, Japan, like that, like they've been doing that for decades. Please miss me with your bullshit, Democrats. But make no mistake, Trump and him is on some bullshit also. Hold on, where was I going next here? Hold on. I wanted to pivot tiny bit because, again, I do wish that we had greater exercise of freedom of speech in this country. And actually, there have been a couple of cases locally. Oh, I should have looked this one up. But this white guy, this white guy in Northern Virginia posted something on Facebook that was taken as inflammatory, et cetera, et cetera. he got visited by the feds and he was prosecuted for something along the lines of making a threat towards Trump, and he was acquitted by a jury. And I said, whew, the complexion for the protection. There was a couple of cases like that, but they were both white. It's just, I don't know. But y'all, when you stand up against oppression, okay, and the oppression that comes in all the forms, when you stand up against imperialism, when you stand up against the patriarchy, when you stand up against racial oppression, it claps back. I saw this story and I wanted to bring it to y'all. Hold on real quick. Because it was something that I was not necessarily expecting to see, and it had an outcome that I necessarily wasn't expecting either. Thank you guys so much for being here. You guys are fantastic. So let's go ahead and get that all right. Let's get that next clip queued up. Do me a favor, guys. Because this was actually a good story. Hold on. You guys remember when I talked to you about the young goddess out of Chicago? Her name is Miramar Martinez. Miramar was part of a community response convoy that was following ICE agents, in quotation marks, because who the fuck knows who these masked jackbooted thugs really are. Miramar was part of a convoy caravan that was following ICE agents who were, of course, doing kidnapping missions in Chicago. And this was the case in which the Fed lied and claimed that Miramar tried to ram his vehicle. Thereby, that's why he had to open fire on her. He shot her 5 times. Thankfully, she survived, but the ICE agent, bragged about shooting her. He bragged about it in the group chat with the other ICE pigs. He bragged about it to his parents. He bragged about it to his brother. Like, he was bragging about the shit. He said, I'm a great shot. Look, boys, 5 shots, 7 holes. Piece of shit. Miramar herself was also facing federal charges. So good. I wanted to share some good news on the front side of the show tonight, you guys, because again, Trump's fucking federal prosecutors have dropped the ball. I guess we should be at least somewhat encouraged by their incompetence. At the same time, we're horrified by their cruelty, but they had to drop all the charges against Miramar, which is fantastic news. Now, again, this woman got shot 5 times. Let me say it one more time. This lady got shot 5 times, and they charged her with federal charges. Those are big girl charges. And she shook it off like, because she's a fucking boss out here. And I love her courage. I just love it. So let's take a look at the story here, y'all, because this is something to celebrate. Flame emojis up, y'all, for Miramar Martinez of Chi-Town. Let's go.
Dropping of those charges, which comes amid questions about the actions of one of the agents involved in that violent encounter last night. Ravi and Cheryl, that woman expressing relief over the Justice Department's dropping of those charges, which comes amid questions about the actions of one of the agents involved in that violent encounter last month, which ended in gunfire. It was on October 4th in the Brighton Park neighborhood near 39th and South Kedzie, where federal authorities initially said Miramar Martinez and Anthony Ian Santos Ruiz used their vehicles to ram Customs and Border Patrol agents' vehicles. One of the agents then shooting Martinez 5 times. Martinez and Santos Ruiz faced multiple federal charges that could have landed them behind bars for up to 20 years. But defense attorneys argued the agent who shot Martinez was responsible for the crash, not the other way around. And last month, under questioning, that agent acknowledged he drove his damaged vehicle to the East Coast before defense attorneys could inspect it. He was also confronted with group text messages in which he appeared to brag about the shooting. After the judge dismissed the charges, Santos Ruiz left without comment, but Martinez spoke to reporters a short time ago.
It's been hard, honestly. It's been hard. Like I can't sleep, but now I'm gonna go sleep.
This was a bad shoot. It was a violation of CBP's policy. It was a bad shoot. They know it. It's going to come out eventually. But, this is the first step, the dismissal of the indictment. That's what we were hired to do, and that's what we did.
Despite DOJ dropping those charges, DHS doubling down today, maintaining that Border Patrol law enforcement officers were ambushed by domestic terrorists, adding, quote, "Our law enforcement shows incredible restraint and prudence in their exercise of force." Martinez's attorney says authorities are holding on to his client's vehicle for now because it's subject to another investigation by a separate U.S. Attorney's Office. He says that investigation does not involve Martinez, but gave no further details. Live at the Dirksen Courthouse, Eric Hong, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Yeah, again, I'm not clear on whether or not this DHS agent, this ICE agent, I'm sorry, I get all these alphabet boys confused. I guess it doesn't matter. This Klansman with a badge and a gun. I don't know if this person is been disciplined, if they've been suspended, admonished, punished, reprimanded in any way. My guess is probably not. And I'm not sure if that makes that big of a difference, to be honest, because I mean, these cops have the green light to shoot all of us anyway, anyhow. But I don't know. This just feels a bit ratcheted up. So there's Miramar. I did want to, again, to me, that's incredible news. I would say Fed charges are difficult to beat, but maybe in this era of Trump, if you have a somewhat competent lawyer, by the way, the word is that the public defenders in the federal system are apparently very good. Ask Marilyn Mosby. And Marilyn Mosby, I think, used the public defenders in the Fed system when she was facing federal charges, and they got her ass off. I think she beat a charge and then got her some favorable terms, as part of her plea, whatever the fuck. Anyway, if you find yourself facing federal charges, you might be able to get a good public defender in the federal system. So kudos to her lawyers, outstanding lawyering, demonstrating that, of course, DHS and these ICE agents, like most police, they actually get on the stand and perjure themselves with no problem. The head of ICE, I keep wanting to call this nigga Greg Gutfield because, again, all these Klansmen, they kind of look the same to me. And I'm not saying all white men look alike. They don't. But all these guys, they just sort of mesh together. It's the same phenotype face, like red neck and face and angry racist. Anyway, it looks the same. Okay, there's that. Now I want us to take a pivot to when the ladydom have to defend theyself out here against the violent mandem. And this to me is a double-sided story because the young woman was able to survive a violent encounter, but such is the case in a lot of instances when women use force to defend themselves, they are usually punished in some way. When many survivors of domestic violence pull the toolie out, the pew pew or the poker, there's a lot of women in jail right now for defending themselves. All right, let me put it that way. And I'm glad that this young woman is not going to be one of them, but she was still punished nonetheless. And you guys are going to see this. So this is coming out of Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a stand your ground state. And in this case, in this instance, thank God that it was. And in fact, all of these gun rights organizations should be rallying around this young woman and admonishing her now former employer, which is 7-Eleven, for punishing her for defending herself whilst in the midst of working her shift at 7-Eleven. This lady was working overnight by herself. She encountered somebody who was trying to run a fake bill and she declined and the person attacked her. And she responded. And I want y'all to pay very close attention. Okay. The lady dem, femdem, disabled them. Pay close attention to the story. Latif, let's roll it.
Hearing from a 7-Eleven clerk who shot a suspect in the stomach after police say he attacked her over a counterfeit bill. Fox 25's Rob Hagan joins us live tonight. Rob, I hear she just got some news from 7-Eleven.
That's right, Wendy. Good evening. Now, Stephanie Dilliard says 7-Eleven corporate called her today and fired her for using her own gun in self-defense. They say it's against company policy. She says she's lucky to be alive. 25-year-old Stephanie Dilliard was a 7-Eleven clerk who faced terror after she says a man tried to strangle her after she refused a counterfeit $100 bill for burritos, beef sticks, and ice cream. It happened Thursday, just before midnight.
He threatened me, said that he was going to slice my head off, and then that's when I tried to call the police. Realized he started throwing things at me. Came behind the counter. I tried to run off, but he grabbed his hands around my neck and pushed me out of the counter space. That's when I pulled out my gun and I shot him.
Police say the suspect, 59-year-old Kenneth Thompson, ran to MacArthur Boulevard and Northwest 34th Street and called 911. Police say Dilliard is protected under Oklahoma's self-defense law, but she says 7-Eleven Human Resources fired her Monday morning for using her own gun.
Said that they were going to separate from employment because of a violation of policy.
Dilliard says she was working by herself from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. for more than 2 years. On Monday, she still had a scratch on her neck and burns on her finger from firing the pistol.
This was a situation where I felt like I was put in a corner between choosing between my job and my life. And I'm always going to choose my life because there's people that depend on me. I'm going home. You know, that's my goal. I need to be here for my kids.
Thompson was arrested at the hospital and charged with assault and battery, threatening acts of violence, trying to pass a fake bill, and a felony warrant for violating parole. Dilliard hopes this incident serves as a wake-up call so no other clerks get hurt or killed, especially women.
If I known that, you know, there's a potential where somebody could be for real in taking my life away, that I will do whatever it takes. You know, I hope that, you know, women see that and, you know, they'll do the same thing. You have the right to defend yourself.
Now, I've reached out to 7-Eleven for comment, but since news time, I've not heard back. And Dilliard says she was supposed to use, quote, store items in self-defense. Live in Oklahoma City, Rob Hagan, Fox 25 News.
Store items. What self-defense tools do they sell at the 7-Eleven? Do you guys know? What store items? They got the shoddy behind the counter? What store items are they talking about? I just want to say, I just feel so bad for this poor young mother, right? This working class woman. For 2 years, she's working the overnight shift. For my third shifters, you ever worked overnights any goddamn where, let alone the 7-Eleven, let alone a solo dolo as a woman for 2 years? I'm not sure if she's a single mother, but she definitely confirmed that she's a mom. So she's got mouths to feed. And trust me, if you work in that third shift at 7-Eleven, it is a job that you absolutely need. And I appreciate her having the presence of mind to understand that as a woman in a convenience store overnight, you are at an elevated risk for some man to come in there and try to do something to you. And shame on the prosecutors in Oklahoma. I didn't hear attempted murder in those charges that Kenneth is facing. He put his hands around her neck and attempted to choke/strangle her. That absolutely sounds like attempted murder to me all day. And the fact that this lady had to fend off a violent man and then for her to be punished economically from her employer, 7-Eleven. What? Listen, you guys, do you think she would have been treated differently had she been a man? Had she been a man in that exact same situation and someone tried to come into 7-Eleven and commit a crime, even if it is passing a counterfeit bill, and then a man was attacked by this violent patron, and then the man pulled his personal gun and shot the assailant, you think 7-Eleven would have fired him? I mean, my guess is that he would have received some sort of award, right? Like there would been some sort of, meritorious accommodation afforded to this brave man, this good guy with a gun. Like, I just feel like the gender dynamics here are glaring, because the message that's being sent, because thankfully, again, and I don't agree, by the way, with most stand your, I don't, the stand your ground laws give me the ick, because it's just, it's too easy for white folks to shoot down black folks. Okay. There's something about stand your ground. And plus, I haven't seen like stand your ground really work in black folks' favor. So, but we're not, whatever. But so the fact that she's in a stand your ground state, the state is not seeking to prosecute her. But again, the overall system still found a way to make sure that she was made to pay, because I guess she was just supposed to get attacked. I guess she was just supposed to get choked out, stomped out, fucked up, maybe worse. Like the societal expectation that women just get abused or harmed and then you get to defend yourself. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. There's no rule nowhere in the rules of engagement from human to human, mano y mano, right? No, you don't have to wait for someone to put their hands around your neck. You don't have to wait for them to pull out their weapon first. You don't have to wait for any of this shit. And women, we have a heightened and more attuned sense of intuition. Okay, it's been honed in us for thousands of years of evolution, because unfortunately, who is our main predator? Okay. You know that when the situation is changed and a man means you harm, and you can preempt that shit. Okay. Like as soon as he laid hands, and did you hear her? This lady tried to call the police. She tried to get away. She used her weapon as a last resort, right? Again, where are her awards? where is her recognition? I want to recognize this young person, this young lady, because outstanding work, sis. I'm so sorry that 7-Eleven is a heartless corporate entity that could not see your humanity as a young mother, as a person, as a human deserving of life and a job without danger and harm. And your bravery and your willingness to defend yourself just to be rewarded with the boot is unconscionable, and you absolutely don't deserve that. But you are an example to women everywhere. Ladies, you better tote that thing. you better get your weaponry together and get it in order, and do not fuck around with it. Do it expeditiously, baby, because the danger is real and it's everywhere. Yo, thank you guys so much for being here. Hey, you guys, like the vid, please show some support. We appreciate all the free material. I know it's holiday time. I know your baby wants the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's hard times. But if you got a couple bucks, you can break your homie off with. We certainly appreciate it. Thank you for all that's in super chats. We had a super chat acknowledgement. Raylan, thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much. Gifting some channel memberships, always appreciated. Always appreciated. Shout out to Carmen. Carmen ran us some Cash App support from Tuesday. Thank you so much, Carmen. $sign BIDWKB, Venmo at BIDWKB, PayPal.me/BIDWKB, and Patreon.com/BIDWKB. Thank you so much to our illustrious mod. Shout out to Noli D. Thank you so much for being here, Noli D. Shout out to Ruv Latif. Peace to Courtney. Peace to my son, Tyler. Who else we got in here, mod? And peace to DJ Vespa X. Sweary, Ferry, come on through. We got C to C. Oh, CBC voter, come on in. Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. I always chuckle at the name. So hold on. While we're talking about folks ready to do that action, you ready to hit the next video? Thank you guys. I appreciate all who ran the campaign on Thursday's Remix Morning Show. Hashtag Unblock Goddess Crew. I was working on Air Doctor. After the show, Air Doctor said he did not mean to block Goddess Crew. He said he just meant to put her in timeout. I'm not sure I believe him. But even still, if she is not unblocked come Tuesday, or if she wasn't unblocked as of earlier today, y'all be sure to, put up some more stink in the chat, because, we're going to work it out. Brothers and sisters going to work it out. We're going to figure out everybody's love language and we're going to spoke it. And we're going to spoke it. So anyway, you guys are interested. You guys are funny. Let me just put it that way. So anyway, so this story caught my ear, and it let me know something that I didn't kind of suspect. I know it exists. When I say the John Brown Brigade, you all know what I mean, but some people not familiar with John Brown, because, American history is not interested in the whites that were in that pursued true racial equality, and who wanted to do away with white supremacy and white nationalism. Like, America doesn't want you to know those folks. But there are some people out here still in the spirit of John Brown, and it may not be who you think they are. I saw this story, and I'm not saying, let me preface this, I'm not saying that these people in this next story are those dudes, but they were overheard by an off-duty cop kind of talking some John Brown shit, kind of talking some John Brown-esque type shit. And of course, the cop did not like what he heard. So of course he had to drop a dime. However, I don't think the cop has got a good case here. But what say you? I want to see what you guys think of this. Or even if you even think that the story is true. Because we all know that police lie, and they lie all the time. And they lie for all kinds of different reasons. They don't even need a good reason to pin a story or pin a bullshit case on somebody. So y'all let me know if y'all think this story is true, and then what you think about it. So we're going to Virginia Beach, Virginia. Shout out to the Tide Water 757. I didn't know the whites was about it, but they might be. So y'all tell me. So let's go ahead and take a listen to this.
Field again. Saturday's Texas A&M versus South Carolina.
Oh shit! I'm sorry. I hit the wrong clip.
After 27.
My bad. I prefaced the wrong one. My dumbass. Because I can't half-ass fucking read. The one about the two white men, 2WM. See, that'd be my fault sometimes. I be blaming the button pushing brubs. And it be me all day long. 2WM brothers charged after cop overheard convo. And I'm telling you, I don't think this is a good case. Anyway, we're going to get to it. You got it.
Virginia Beach General District Court, a Norfolk police officer overheard the two brothers while dining at a restaurant on General Booth Boulevard. The officer alleges he heard John and Mark Bennett talk about how they think immigration and customs enforcement agents are, quote, kidnapping individuals and something needed to be done about it. Court documents say that in that same conversation, Mark Bennett disclosed he had recently purchased an assault rifle because of its ability to penetrate body armor. The off-duty officer alleges the Bennett brothers discussed a hunting trip upon return from Las Vegas, and Mark Bennett said he would round up like-minded people. During a bond hearing this afternoon, the co-defendants' attorneys argued the conversations overheard by an off-duty officer was hearsay, and the two brothers posed no threat to the community, citing John Bennett's position as an assistant principal at Kimsville High School and Mark's responsibility to take care of their 89-year-old mother. A defense attorney stated that Mark was traveling to Las Vegas for a Formula One race with his sons. The magistrate's office approved bond for the Bennett brothers. The VPD Special Investigation Bureau is now handling this case. Under pretrial supervision, Mark and John Bennett are to have no contact with each other, no possession of firearms, and remain confined to their homes unless approved. Otherwise, a GPS tracker is mandatory. In Virginia Beach, I'm Layla Cox, 13 News Now.
Yes, I know that started off quick towards the beginning, so if you missed it, so these pair of brothers, these white men, were eating in a restaurant, allegedly talking aloud about purchasing weapons to let the chopper sing on ICE agents. Okay, and also discussing assembling like-minded people. All this in your booth? Like, what was the seating arrangement? Like, I'm very curious. Now, come on. Now, I understand that in the 21st century, people are very aloof and very much in their own world. Sometimes when they are out in public spaces, they are not cognizant of their voice level, how far their conversation is carrying, etc. But I'm sorry, you mean to tell me that the assistant principal of a high school is out here openly proclaiming, we gonna get out, we gonna ante up, we gonna mount up and we gonna start bucking on ICE agents? They just talking this shit in the restaurant. Is that right, cop? Is that what I'm supposed to believe? Come on, man. What do you guys say? Yay or nay? Is this a real? I mean, do you guys believe these charges? I'm dubious. And it even sounds as though the charges, again, or what is it? This is based off an overheard conversation. This cop could have misinterpreted everything that he heard. He could have misheard everything. I don't know. I'm bothered by that charges were even brought just based off of this. Did anybody subpoena like their text messages? Have they been planning this? Like, you really arrested these men, gave them a bond, now they're being monitored via, ankle surveillance. This man is one of them is a caretaker for their elderly mother, the other's an assistant principal. This is all based, you didn't charge them based off some shit a cop says he heard. I believe these charges will eventually be dropped because, number one, we're talking about white men here, okay? Like, the wheels of justice spin a little differently when the accused are both Caucasian and male. Come on. Innocent until proven guilty, guys. Like, these are the foundations. This is the tenements our country was set upon. Innocent until proven guilty, guys. You can't just go arresting white men like this for no fucking reason. I think a lot of these cases end up being weak. I think this sounds like a very weak case. I think if you have a good lawyer, like I would imagine these two white men do, that they will be found not guilty. But let this just serve as a bit of a lesson. Again, the speech is not free out here. It isn't. Not only are there ears and eyes and surveillance and your fucking phone is snitching, listening to literally everything that you're saying, all your smart devices inside of your spaces, just ear hustling and snitching back to the cloud and to the data centers. Guys, we are in serious protect your neck times right now. Make no mistake about it. Hold on. The story, my bad, Lateef. Let me go back to that Texas A&M story. Very much a cops ain't shit story. Not a big college football fan, but I understand that the college football cults are indeed very serious, and there's some shit with that. It's all very plantation-y. I feel like college football feels more plantation-y even than the NFL, even though the NFL Combine is the most plantation fucking slave auction shit I've ever seen. Anyway, that's not tonight's topic. However, I'm not sure if you guys saw this. You probably did, but in case you did not. So, last Saturday's Texas A&M versus South Carolina foosball game held in Texas. I think the Aggies ended up defeating South Carolina, but the real highlight of the game, or rather, should we say, low light of the game, came after a South Carolina player made a long score. And after he scored, the kid, I think he had a tender hamstring. He had a tight hammy. So instead of just trying to stop after running top speed in order to score this touchdown, he runs into the tunnel. He is then greeted by a couple of his teammates congratulating him, celebrating that he scored this touchdown. And as the kids are walking back through the tunnel back towards the field, they are confronted by a Texas Department of Public Safety officer, like a ranger, right? I guess this is what these fucking yokel cops are. But this cop, unprovoked, seemingly for no reason, becomes aggressive and confronts and even touches, engages physical contact with these young football players. And one can only imagine the way that this cop engages in his police duties when there aren't thousands of people watching him and lots of cameras, including a national audience. I want to take you guys, let's go. I think this is coming from CBS Austin. And it's just the amazing way in which racism can just grip white people and make them and instantly put them in a state of psychosis in which they are either oblivious or completely uncaring. I'm not sure those things are the same, right? You ever been in a blackout state and you just blacked out? and you done blacked out from anger, you done blacked out from whatever emotion has overtaken you, and you don't hear anything, right? You don't hear anything else. So I'm just miffed. I'm befuddled as to how the sight of this collegiate athlete, this black man, this young guy, a physical specimen of a football player, him doing what he's supposed to do, score, do well in the game, was enough to send this cop into such a dither that he wanted to behave this way. So in case you haven't seen it, let's take a look.
Foot on Kyle Field again.
Saturday's Texas A&M versus South Carolina.
Start from the beginning, please.
Fans energized after 27.
That guy should never step foot on Kyle Field again.
Saturday's Texas A&M versus South Carolina game had many Aggie fans energized after a 27-point comeback win. But Saturday's big win comes with a taste. During the game, following a long touchdown scored by South Carolina wide receiver Nick Harbor, he and his teammates appear to get into a confrontation with a Texas Department of Public Safety trooper who walks between Harbor and teammate Oscar Hadaway III. During that moment captured on video by ESPN, the trooper appears to elbow his way through the players as he walks in between them. He then says something to Harbor, who then turns around and apparently says something to the trooper.
And just literally tries to bulldoze both of these kids. And I was like, my God, what are you doing?
The moment captured the attention of many prominent athletes like NBA star LeBron James, who called for the trooper to be suspended. According to Texas A&M police, the trooper was removed from the game after the interaction. We reached out to Texas DPS to request body cam video of the incident and to see if there had been any other disciplinary action against the trooper. They responded simply that our request had been received by the Media and Communications Office. After Saturday's game, South Carolina head football coach Shane Beamer was asked about the trooper being removed.
First-class people. So I appreciate them handling that the right way and sending him home.
You said that if these players at South Carolina, if someone on that team wanted to, they could pursue legal charges against this officer.
That is, in my opinion, that's a Class C assault. I mean, that's just a bully with a badge.
Graves says the Texas A&M Police Department has the jurisdiction to file a criminal complaint against this trooper who is still to be identified by DPS.
That guy should never step foot on Kyle Field again.
Saturday's.
Listen, watch whiteness work. There's some elements in that story that obviously bother me. I mean, the entire situation is bothersome in itself, but listen to the propaganda put forth in the story. The reporter says these two South Carolina football players appear to get into a confrontation with the Texas Department of Public Safety officer. What you mean they appear to get into a confrontation? They didn't do shit. They were walking back to the field because they're the football players. They didn't get into a confrontation. They were provoked into an engagement, a confrontation at that. But they appear to get into a confrontation again. Blame the blacks, no matter what. Also, the watch whiteness work aspect of this, and I'm gonna give the South Carolina head coach the benefit of the doubt here because I did not see his entire press conference. Clips can be taken out of context. Perhaps he said more about it, but when asked, at least what was presented in that package, when he said, when asked about the cop being removed from the stadium, the response that was included in the package there was, oh, is, thank you. That was a first class operation for him to be removed. Sir, your players were assaulted by not only an adult, by a police officer, by a white officer in a very public and humiliating way. And your response is that it was a first-class operation for Texas A&M to remove him from the remove. How come you're not calling for him to be fired? How come you're not saying that you're in consultation with your players about maybe pressing charges, as the lone righteous white man in the package said that he supports? Now, that white guy that was being quoted, not the South Carolina coach, of course, I'm talking about the extra country Southern white guy who was offended by the conduct of the ranger, the DPS officer. His name, I think his last name is Reeves, and he is an attorney, criminal justice attorney, actually. And I came across, he posted a video on TikTok in the aftermath of this incident. And he was, again, like he was in that package, calling for Class C assault charges. It's a misdemeanor charge in Texas, but I think he just went on to define it further as offensive contact. Of if another person makes physical contact with you that you find offensive, I guess under Texas statute, you have the ability to press third-degree assault charges. And that righteous white man was calling for that, and calling for Texas A&M to reach out to the South Carolina players to see if they wanted to pursue that. Now, of course, we also see the way the machine is working here. At least as of this show airing, this cop has not been identified. And also, of my latest awareness, is that his only discipline is that he will no longer be allowed to work these Texas A&M football games. Well, well, boo fucking who? Oh, you don't get to work the game. Big goddamn deal. He still gets to be a cop out here. And if that is how he behaves, if that is how he treats, with no provocation, with no legitimate, justifiable reason to engage with these young black men like that, who were absolutely where they were supposed to be, doing exactly what they were supposed to be doing, how does he treat people when he's out in his squad car, when he's on patrol, when people call 911 and he shows up? See, this is the shit that is scary about these pigs, right? They are deeply unregulated, emotional individuals, right? Who are prone to violence. Many of them themselves have substance abuse problems, alcoholism, steroids. You know what I mean? Like, they're scary as shit out here. In addition to the racism, which always gives them a little oomph, you know what I'm saying? That's like the mushroom for Mario. You know what I'm saying? Like, the racism always chunks it up a notch. That's what I'm saying. There's no reason in a civilized society for us to have people who wield such tremendous power, power literally over life and death, that these folks should be on the taxpayer dole. The Klansmen. No thanks. Anyway, we got two streams going on here. We got the landscape and the verts and the vertical, the mefticals. Hey now, why isn't this moving? Come on, scoot along, scoot along. Hope everybody's doing well tonight. Want you guys to keep it sassy out here. Keep it sassy. We living in wild times. I need you to be able to also keep your sense of humor out here. You got to laugh at the shit at the same time. I know the laughter primarily to keep from crying. Yes. But some of it is legit funny. I'm sorry. I did chuckle at the Trump clip when Mondani was asked about him calling Trump a fascist, and Mondani was about to answer, and Trump was like, you said what you said. Don't worry about it. I said, oh, wow. The upside down is upside downing. But that was funny. That shit made me laugh. So anywho, find the funny moments when you're able to, gang. All right, we're going into some unfunny shit here. So again, these ICE raids continue all over the country, while Chicago and LA and now Charlotte, Durham, Raleigh, DC, you know, this is getting the news. But I think I showed you guys a clip Tuesday from Waukegan, Wisconsin. I want us to go to Minnesota, Midwest. Shout out to my niece Alicia out there. Woo! Let me show you how ICE was getting down when the community came out in order to monitor them, to help to stymie their illegal activities, their random assaults and kidnaps on members of the community, and unprovoked on a relatively calm, though they were, boisterous group of protesters. You're going to see these motherfuckers deploy illegally chemical munitions against this group of folks. But the takeaway here is, guys, people are resisting everywhere. As much as these roaches are coming out seemingly everywhere to do their fuckery, guess who else is coming out? The folks, them. So, bruv, Lateef, let's take a look at that clip from Minnesota, please. Yeah, it's a nutty. Look at that. Look at that. Incredible. Thank you, Latif. So I'm wondering, guys, I know that there are some documented health risks associated with people who are exposed to tear gas. I don't know if the same thing applies to a bear mace or some other type of lethal, not lethal, but non-lethal element, that's a chemical irritant to the eyes, to the sinuses, like anything that burns your eyeballs. Like I can't see how there's not some sort of lasting, the potential is there, in my opinion, would be for some sort of lasting damage. But this is how it is looking. It is nasty work. But again, these are not scenes that are necessarily new. I feel like again, it's just the latest iteration of the jackbooted thuggery. But Minnesota, obviously is a place, especially Minneapolis, known for the resistance. I want to say actually what we just saw might have been like Duluth, St. Paul, but I'm not sure. But I saw a video on TikTok where this woman said, ICE is going to get pew-pewed for the first time in Carolina. Okay. These are not my words nor my proclamations, alphabet boys. I'm just repeating to you what the different video that I saw somebody else say. And I feel like, and I understand that on some level, that is the goal, right? The Trump administration is willing to sacrifice one or more, several of these fucking, mindless dopes, if need be, to serve a greater agenda of imposing martial law. If people start bucking on ICE agents, then that is all the premise that Trump and Stephen Miller need to impose martial law on this country. And then who knows what the fuck happens after that. Everybody going to a work camp. Everybody going to a work camp. But I'm saying though, it would be in the ICE officers' interest. You shouldn't provoke your fellow armed citizens. Because again, if the roles were reversed, we saw how the Bundys got down, the Bundys of the Pacific Northwest, when, who was it, Bureau of Land Management came to the Bundy Ranch. What happened? The Bundys let the chopper sing. So I don't it's interesting to me that these officers, quotes, air quotes, believe themselves to be free of any consequence. And I think before any court ever catches up with the illegal actions of these fucking assholes, a regular ass person is going to take the law into their own hands, and they are not ready for that. I want us to move along to DC because for weeks, nay, months now, Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser, a Democrat, has been saying that Metropolitan Police of the District of Columbia are not cooperating with ICE immigration activities. She was adamant about that. By the way, the district just won a very big federal decision as it pertains to National Guards being in DC. A judge ruled with the district that Trump's premise for imparting National Guards is illegal and it shouldn't be allowed to continue. The Trump administration has a few weeks to appeal this decision, but the DC government and at large, the people of DC received a victory in the courts as it pertains to the National Guard only, but as it pertains to them alphabet boys, as it pertains to ICE, Homeland Security, FBI, they got everybody in the fucking streets of DC. They got Secret Service out here doing traffic stops. Like, y'all niggas really must be bored to goddamn tears if this is what the fuck the Secret Service got time to do. But regardless, but Muriel Bowser, along with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, along with, I can name probably a handful of other mayors, especially black ones. Karen Bass, the mayor of Los Angeles, they keep swearing up and down to us that their cops from their respective cities are not participating in these ICE raids. And there is video after video after video after video in each of these cities that show the contrary. Yeah, your cops are absolutely in cahoots and collaborating with ICE. What do you have to say about it? Are you telling, is this, can you not come and say aloud, mayors Bass, Johnson, and Bowser? Can y'all just not say aloud that you don't run your respective police departments? Like, even though the mayor supposedly has the final authority, or is the last say so or the head say so over these local police departments? Like, Chicago police don't respect what the fuck Brandon Johnson got to say. LAPD don't respect what the fuck Karen Bass got to say. And DC police don't respect what the fuck Mario Bass got to say, bitch. They is out here doing this shit. So anyway, let's take a look at this video from DC. And this sister, I started following her recently on TikTok, and I am a fan. I think her name is Fifi Inferno, which burn it down. I tend to find my folks, you know what I'm saying? It's funny. That has worked out a couple times that way. I'm like, oh, I really like this lady. And then I finally look at their account name. It says Reign of Fire. I said, oh, look at that. Let's take a look at the clip.
Why do we need all of these federal agents? This is immigration. Go run into your cars. Fucking coward. Why do we need all of these federal agents? This is immigration. Go run into your cars. Fucking cowards. Fucking cowards. Fucking cowards. And you get your bald-headed ass out of here. We can't stand you. Yeah. Get the fuck out of this neighborhood. Leave them the fuck alone. The fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck you. The fuck out of this neighborhood. Fucking idiots. The fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. Fucking cowards. Bless her heart. She's tired. These people are sick and tired.
Yep.
Why do we?
Just a reminder, Washingtonians are still very much out here standing on business. These kidnappings have not abated in the nation's capital, and the residents and natives of this city are still out here on these feds and on ICE and on Metropolitan Police's ass. They remain on these folks' ass. But it is terrible, you guys. I mean, we are living in accelerated times, right? It's like everything that has been happening, the exploitation coming from, the elites from up top. People can't have enough to eat. People are not making enough. People can't even work enough to make enough. Like folks that are working 40 plus hours, 50, 60 hours a week, and it's still not enough. The police got their boot on our neck, and it's still not enough. Like something is going to bust open here soon. And I hope it's going to be the proletariat rising up. And I know it would be ideal if we were more organized. But sometimes you may have to what's the phrase? What's the expression? You may have to build the car while you're driving it, or you may have to build the plane while it's flying. Hey, man, we're never gonna survive unless we get a little crazy. We may have to get crazy. I don't know if we want to get Seal crazy, or do we want to get Prince crazy? Let's go crazy. Let's get nuts. What kind of crazy y'all want to get? JoJo, y'all probably want to get Casey and JoJo crazy because y'all soft out here. y'all real creamy and R&B out here, Fire Fam. I know y'all got some sensitives. We got some Ralph Tresvants out there. It's like I'm playing. I keep telling y'all get dangerous, and I believe a few of you are dangerous, and that's great. That's great. If you are dangerous, I need you to make more people dangerous, okay? Teach others how to become the danger. Not the threat, but the danger. Thank you guys so much for being here. Y'all's are the bestesses. Forgot about the restesses. Subscribe to the channel. Do what you can. I might be dropping some new merch offerings. Stay tuned. But it's only if you brave. it's only if you double middle fingers to the law. You know what I'm saying? This ain't for these new merch offerings not gonna be for everybody. But that's okay. So gang, do I only have one palette cleanser? I thought I put two. I guess I didn't. Silly girl. I'll take this one though, because when we're talking about getting organized, right? Here on this platform, though not as much lately, but when they was really kicking it off and really adding more locations to their movement, the Starbucks Workers Union, the baristas have been engaging in withholding labor, aka a strike action, and they have been trying to get Starbucks to first acknowledge the union, recognize the union, which Starbucks, I believe, still refuses to do. Starbucks has also had a number of unfair labor practice complaints filed against them. And I know that I think the Starbucks Workers Union has even won a couple of those, maybe even a few of those, several of those, through the National Labor Relations Board, which is all good. But at the same time, Starbucks as a corporation, no one is compelling them. The federal government isn't forcing them to recognize the union and then sit down and negotiate a fair contract with these workers, which is again part of the constant fails of capitalism, right? Because both sides, the owners and the employees, are not coming to the table with equal amounts of power. And in fact, the power discrepancy is so lopsided that the employees, the workers, end up, either asking for crumbs or end up settling for crumbs. And that is, again, the cruelty of this whole entire structure, because with minimal amounts of money, the demand set forth by the Starbucks Workers Union could easily be met. But no, Starbucks would rather pay union busters. Starbucks would rather close locations than actually sit down and engage with the workers in an equal way and in a fair way. So the workers have said, you know what, bet. How about we shut down your little distribution center and see how much coffee y'all able to get out to these raggedy ass stores. And in these raggedy fucking stores, it's all well and good until you can't get your 18 wheelers to the distribution warehouses to get your shit out the door, Starbucks. So let's take a look at what the folks have been doing in order to get Starbucks to come to the table.
Starbucks distribution center in the world. It's one of just 5 in the country, and a key choke point for all the coffee giants deliveries in the entire Northeast.
Right now, we have the facility under a full.
Behind me is the largest Starbucks distribution center in the world. It's one of just 5 in the country, and a key choke point for all the coffee giants deliveries in the entire Northeast.
Right now, we have the facility under a full blockade. We've turned away multiple trucks already. What we're doing is directly attacking the supply chain of Starbucks, disrupting the operations for every store in the entire Northeast. This facility delivers all of the supplies that we need to run our stores every day.
We're fighting for our very first contract after 4 years of negotiations with the company.
They have the full capacity to pay us right now for a multi-year union contract with 1 day worth of sales. They can do it for less than what they paid Brian Nickel for the 4 months of work he did.
We've filed over 1,000 unfair labor practice charges. Brian and the company have rolled out policy after policy that actually make the workflow harder, that make the wait times longer, that exacerbate that understaffing problem. They've begun to discipline workers more, roll out new policies that workers aren't able to meet. These corporations do think that they're unstoppable, but we know that our power comes from the fact that we run these stores every day, that Brian doesn't get his salary in his private jet without us. But we know that we have the power, and we know that that's where our leverage actually is.
I work at Chestnut Hill in Philadelphia. We are actually one of the first Starbucks to open in Philadelphia. Most of our customers have been going there for almost over 2 decades, so we really have this tight-knit group of people. I miss them every day, but they know that we're here for a bigger, better reasons. You guys do not give Starbucks any of your money. No money to Brian Nickel, please. He has had enough. He has $96 million for 4 months of work. I think he can take the hit.
Brian, I'm going to look at the camera because I'm speaking to you and I know you're watching. This company is in crisis. Everybody knows it. The shareholders know it. You're the 4th CEO we've worked under since we started organizing 4 years ago. Something's wrong. Customers are leaving. Wait times are long. You're trying everything in the book except for actually listening to the workers who run your stores, who pay your salary. So if you want to fix this company, settle a contract with us.
Union power! Union power! Union power! No contract! No coffee! No contract! No coffee! No contract! No coffee!
Won't nobody be drinking this nasty ass coffee, dog. I don't like Starbucks coffee. Y'all like Starbucks coffee? Y'all probably do because y'all bougie. I don't like Starbucks coffee. That shit is not tasty to me. There won't no contract, no coffee. Nobody get this nasty coffee. Shout out to the Starbucks workers, everybody that is on strike, everybody that had the ability to go out there and disrupt their distribution center, which is fantastic work. We appreciate that. Can you imagine that the CEO of Starbucks, they said he makes $96 million. He's already made $96 million. Where's the guillotines? Where does he live? Like, what? All of this income inequality, all of this power dynamics, all of this shit is it's crumbling, everybody. The cracks are here. I'm telling you, I feel more optimistic than I did even, maybe just a couple or a few short months ago. Optimistic about what? I don't know, but I'm optimistic that everybody's change is going to come, like Sam Cooke. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels like it. It's too palatable. Like, I feel like there is a major shift coming. On which front, I'm not sure, but maybe it's going to be on multiple fronts. It's going to be societal. It's going to be at the human race level. Like, I mean, I'm telling you, I'm not to get too far out there, but I'm telling you, this 300 Atlas shit is going to about to show the people something. Again, to pivot for a second, and I'm coming right back. But y'all, I'm not sure if you saw the photos that NASA released, claiming to be 3i Atlas when it passed the Mars high-rise doohickey, and they took the pictures of it. These pictures are shit. It's like, these are not, like, these ain't good fucking pictures, especially the shit's supposed to be super close. My point is this, you guys, if it was a comet, if 3i Atlas is a comet, they'd have showed us the highest resolution, the thermal spectrograph, infrared. They'd have showed us all the fucking different types of picture. They'd have published all kinds of pictures. Were it a for real comet? Just to show us, look, y'all, it's a for real fucking comet. Let's compare 3-Eye Atlas, these pictures of it clearly being a comet, to known comets. See the similarities. We would have gotten all of that from NASA by now. We have gotten none of that. They're just telling us it's a comet. Bitch, show me it's a fucking comet. That shit, anyway. That little, what was the Kodak cameras? the yellow, the Supermax, I can't remember. But it looks like they took that picture with a 35 millimeter paper box Kodak camera. I said billions of dollars on the web and on the Hubble telescopes. Garbage. Throw it away. But no, guys, I think the people are reaching a saturation point, right? And I know that many oppressed and marginalized groups, racial, gender, sexual and gender identity, like people have, if you already find yourself checking numerous boxes in the oppressed identities group, yeah, you know that our saturation point has been expired and been passed a while ago. But the folks that have largely been comfortable in this country, maybe even for a couple generations or more, are realizing that the jig is up. Like the jig is up, like as much or however level of protection that people's race and gender, if you were of the preferred race and gender in America, whatever level of protection that may have offered you, it's offering you little to none of it now, right? Or that privilege is wearing thinner and thinner, right? And if it's this harder for those people to simply survive and make it, then you know what it's like for everybody else who is further down the racial hierarchy. So all of this is unsustainable. These people cannot make $96 million in 4 months and play in our face and tell workers that they can't afford to pay them a living or thriving wage because they don't have the money. like people, like the Bob Marley song I told you guys, you know, them belly full, but we hungry, right? A hungry mob is an angry mob. The rain will fall, but the dut is tough. The dut is tough, Bob say. And then he said, a pot to cook, but the you not enough. It's the pot you cook, but it's still not enough, right? Them belly full, but we hungry. And somebody said that the rich might be delicious. they might be a little tasty with some seasoning, of course. That sounds gross. I'm not advertising. I'm not advocating for cannibalism, but you guys get it. It's time to take our shit back. And all of their shit is actually not theirs. It's all that they have stolen and taken from us. And not just from us, but they took from our parents, from our grandparents, from our great-grandparents. They have gorged themselves, not only on our lives, but on our labor. And I'm sorry, the time is nigh. The time is soon. It's soon come right fucking now for that shit to be taken back. And if people got to take it by force, I don't see what the alternative is going to be. But, you know, they are armed to the teeth, but they ain't got no heart. I think something can be said about heart. I know it's not a practical measure. You maybe can't measure heart the same way that you can count bullets, but I definitely think that heart and courage and bravery and a willingness to fight, and more in a willingness to KILL and DIE, right? If those things are in you, I'm telling you, that definitely counts for something. It counts for a hell of a lot. So, anywho, on that note, kids, I'm going to bid you all adieu. Thank you all so much for all that you have done, for keeping my little engine that could a choo-chooing down these YouTube streets. Even though YouTube be a little bitch. Shout out to Twitch. No bitches over there. We love you over there. Twitch. Shout out to Rosalba. Shout out to Deidre the Destroyer. I appreciate you guys. Peace to all my Fire Fam mods. Noli D, good to see you in here, baby. I'm so glad that you made some time to come hang out and see us and say what's up to the folks tonight. Do we have any acknowledgments, Latif, that we need to say before we push off?
No acknowledgments other than the one that we mentioned earlier. Raylan and his gifted sub. So thank you for that, Raylan, for gifting the sub. And just thank everybody for showing up too. Had a good crowd, a good chat showed up. I appreciate everybody and their support. Thanks for dual chatting it up. We're still learning the dual chat thing. I'm starting to realize that it's two separate moderation jobs, but we're gonna get it.
Oh, I'm just noticing, okay, that there's 2 live numbers. Am I seeing that right? But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. So shout out to everyone that's watching wherever you're watching. I appreciate it. Thank you, Lateef. I appreciate you pushing buttons as you have been drafted to do on Fridays. So thank you. Thank you so much for all that you do.
The pleasure's all mine.
All right, gang. I want you guys to be safe out here. Please head on a swivel. Remember 456, like Toots and the Maytals. 456 was your number. Know your rights. Fourth Amendment right against unlawful search and seizure. Fifth Amendment right to remain silent and not answer questions, and your Sixth Amendment right to an attorney. Let's not be dumb out here, okay? We don't answer questions from the cops, okay? Okay, we clear? Excellent. Be safe. I love you guys. Shout out to Will and Molly, all the mods, gods in the earth. Y'all be easy out here. Deuces, y'all. Bye-bye.